BBC2 invites you on a night out with the lads. But mind you don't spill your drink, fail to keep up, or stand out from the crowd if you want to be sure of staying alive. An award-winning start to BBC2 summer dance season by DV8, Enter Achilles. Tonight, 11:15, BBC2.
Newsnight now on BBC2 with Hugh Edwards.
They're about to start counting the votes in Uxbridge, an end-of-term verdict on Tony Blair's first months in power. But just how radical has New Labour been? Good evening to you. Parliament stands empty until the end of October. Conservatives have retreated far and wide to lick their wounds, and Labour MPs reflect on what Tony Blair has done with his first 11 weeks in power. We'll have the latest from Uxbridge, where Labour is hoping for the first government victory in by-election for some time. And tonight, on the evidence of this first term, Newsnight asks whether New Labour is as radical as it maintains. A newspaper editor and a Labour grandee debate New Labour's priorities with a government minister. Applications are invited for a czar, a drug czar, but what can he or she achieve that present arrangements cannot? A regional drugs coordinator tells a current heroin user and a leading campaigner why the job is needed. And we are, it seems, at the bottom of the tip when it comes to recycling household waste. Very little is used, it makes no money. So why bother? Falls to the voters of Uxbridge to deliver the first significant verdict on Mr Blair's first term. The counting is almost underway in the West London seat, represented until his recent death by the Conservative Sir Michael Shersby. Both Labour and the Tories say it's too close to call, but if the Tories win, it will be their first by-election victory since a certain William Hague took Richmond 8 years ago. So it's a verdict on a new Tory leader and on a new Labour Prime Minister. Keeping an eye on events in Uxbridge is our political correspondent, Carolyn Quinn. Carolyn, good evening to you.
Hugh, here at Uxbridge, the boxes have just started to come through. I've been following this by-election now for the last week or so, and really, you pipped me at the post there when you said that both parties, both the Conservatives and Labour, are saying it's too close to call. It's been a turnout lowish, not as low as some by-elections, about 50-odd% compared with about 70% in the general election. Now, traditionally, a low turnout does favour the Conservatives, but they are saying to me tonight, we're not complacent, it really is too close to call.
Well, now, any signals at all, Carolyn? I know it's a horrible task right at the start of a by-election count, but any signals at all from either of the main parties there about the way the wind is blowing?
Well, it was quite interesting because when the campaign first started, I think the Conservatives basically almost admitted defeat. They'd called the by-election early anyway, just wanting to get the damage out of the way before the recess. But there was a huge row in the Labour ranks about their selection of candidate. Now, when I say huge, it was huge around here, because people were really wanting the person who fought the seat at the general election, David Williams, to have another chance. But Labour's by-election panel chose Andrew Slaughter instead. He's an archetypal New Labour candidate to fight the seat. And I think that there was damage done by that, in particularly the early stages of the campaign. Tony Blair's visit here, though, last week, did really boost the Labour ranks. And I think there was a discernible change in tone in the Labour press offices, the Labour backroom people, if you like. They certainly seemed boosted by that Blair visit. But it's very difficult to tell here. It has been fought very much on local issues. Labour tried to transform it to talk about national issues, but the Conservative candidate, John Randall, he's very much a local man, and he has tried to keep it to local issues.
Go on, Carolyn, I'm going to push you. I hate to be pushed myself, but which way is it going to go?
Well, last week I would have said to the Conservatives, surprisingly enough, but obviously the problem is that at the moment, after that Labour landslide, it's very difficult to believe that Labour won't win anything. But if you look back to the general election, and there were huge swings to Labour in the west of London, but not in Uxbridge. Uxbridge very much considers itself in Middlesex, outside London, not part of West London even. So I think Conservatives here may feel that they want to prove their independence, if you like. although I don't think there's really the sense of trying to hit the government as there was in the by-elections before the general election.
Carolyn, thanks very much for updating us. And you can find out the result of the Uxbridge by-election when David Dimbleby presents by-election special. That is at 10 to 1 tomorrow morning on BBC One.